Okay, I think we're ready and it's all working fine. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Okay, so I'm going to start with my skin as usual. And I cleaned up my marker, so hopefully I'm not going to have any big smears or any mistakes here. All right, my first one is E21. And again, this is hot Cocoa Elf Rio. There are hairs on my... There are little fibers everywhere. Okay. Now again, this is my E21, and I just kind of go over outlining where I want to make sure that my shades will be the most noticeable on her face. On her skin, really. I start with the skin first all the time just because it just helps me start coloring it. Just because. And I will stop and go over the mistakes every now and then. Yeah, leave my nails alone. I'm going this week. You want to call Helen? Rio's ignoring me. I asked her to call our nail lady. So what is everyone up to this morning other than sitting here watching me? I am hoping to get a lot done today. I'm going to attempt to cook for the rest of the week so that I can sit and color the rest of the week. We'll see. Okay, that was the E21. Now I'm going to go in with my E11. Gosh, what a difference when I clean up my markers. I don't get like that saturated goopy mess. So from here until the end of the year, I'm going to attempt to put up a retired image on Tuesdays. Sometimes along with my Tuesday solos, sometimes just by themselves, because Tuesday solos are usually every other week. So this week I don't have a Tuesday solo, but I'm going to put up that little ragdoll girl that I tried to color up last night. And I'm going to put them up for that Tuesday for 24 hours at $2. So I'll be calling them $2 Tuesday solos or something. Not solos because they're retired images. So they're not solos. I forgot her little hand over here. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to blend all that out with my E51. I want to scrap it too, I just don't have time. I have an enormous pile of laundry to do. So after I do this, I'm going to clean up my kitchen for the lunch mess that Rio and I made. And do a little bit of coloring before the little man comes home. Because when he comes home, I run out of time for everything. It's, get him his bath, make sure he's doing his homework, prepare dinner, and then just kind of hang out with him for a little bit until Daddy comes home. Then he takes over. But we'll see. I wanted to get some Christmas canvases done and put up around the house before Christmas. I saw your tree. It looks beautiful, Iva. I wish I could put mine up, but we usually wait for the real ones, and they're not out yet. We usually do it on Thanksgiving, and unfortunately I've learned that they're going to get their Christmas trees in next week, but not put them up until after Thanksgiving. So now I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe down the hill has them. All right, I'm going to go back in with my E21 a little bit. And make those cheeks really rosy. Does he really? My hubby would have liked it, but like I said, I made him throw out our artificial tree. Or no, he didn't throw it out. We donated it to my mom so that I can force him to buy me a real one every year. Growing up with my mom, I actually had a real one every year, and when I started, when I married my husband and we started our own traditions, he wanted only artificial ones. He's a tree hugger. I know I should probably honor his wish, but not this year. Next year. Where's my BB20? There it is. Okay. I'm going to go in with my BB20. I wanted to get new ones too. I wanted to go with like a red and blue theme, but unfortunately I have too many red and green decorations and stuff that, to replace them would be a lot of money. So I'll just keep my traditional red, green, and white, all Santa Claus. Like my Santa and his little elf girlfriend or wife, just like that. Alright, so once again, this is my BB20, and I'm just giving her a couple of little flicks here and there where there would be a very strong shadow. So who's going to go watch the Hunger Games this weekend? I can't wait. You know how I love movies. That's neat. I think I have 1 year up on you. 13 with my hubby. So, not bad. Alright. So that was my skin, and it's all done. And I'm really sorry about the camera angle. I'll have to figure it out at some point. But there's her skin. I'll come in close. Just a little bit so you can see her skin. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to start her little whipped cream here. And for that, I'm going to start with my C3 to give it the white feel. Can't really color white, but you can make it look like you colored white by using your C's. Those are my favorite for white combos. You can use W's as well, but I like the C's. Just a little bit goes a long way. You don't have to cover the entire thing. Just a little bit will do. Part of her straw is going to be white as well, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. There we go. Okay, so again, that was my C3. I'm not always, I don't have the red in the cheeks. I will. It's not red though. I usually use, what do you call, either the E93 or the R02. But for this one, and I'll add it in just a minute, I'm going to use the R21. I want to try something new. We'll see how that works. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my C1 and start blending that out a little bit. Yes, there is an E93. What is it called? Rose tea, I think it's called. It's very pink. It's the strangest thing because usually the E's are all very brown and this one is very pinkish. Okay. Okay, and like I mentioned before, I cleaned out my markers and it's really looking nice. I can't stress enough how important it is that you clean your markers every so often because they, you know, from the residue, I was told from the, there's a slight finish to the Copic paper, which is what I'm using to express it. And it'll sometimes kind of, that residue will kind of gather on your markers. So it makes your markers juiced up a little bit. And sometimes it's just, it needs a cleaning. Yeah, tea rose. There we go. Alright, so with my C00, I'm going to blend all of it out. And kind of bring it out a little bit more. So that it creates that really nice gradient instead of having harsh lines. Because then it just looks like gray. You know, but if you blend it out enough, then it kind of gives it that white feel to it. Is that Sahara? Oh, you're going to check to see what it was? Okay. Yeah, probably. Okay. So see, blending it out just makes it look really nice. It takes that gradient. You know, you want to go make it look like it's feathered or like it's changing color on its own instead of having like a streak of each color, like the darkest color and then streaks into the other and then streaks into the lightest color. I like to make sure I blend it out so it gives it a really nice gradient. Okay. So now that the skin has had time to just dry just a little bit, I'm going to go in with my R21 and see if I can make her cheeks a little bit rosier. I'm going to blend it in there. Very pretty. Okay. So once again, those harsh lines that I am, the last C that I used was C00. Okay, so once I've added the R21. I'm going to go back in with my E51. These are the harsh lines I'm talking about. So you kind of want that to gradually blend into one another. So I just take my lightest color, which in this case is my E51, and blend out that harsh line, make it look more of a gradient color change. Does that make sense? There we go. So now her cheeks are quite rosy, and I like that. Little elves, I think, should have really rosy cheeks. You know, they're out in the cold. There we go. There we go. So now her whipped cream and her little skin is done. Alright, I'm going to start my blues. I chose a blue for her. I'm going to make her outfit blue and brown. And I chose these colors because of my paper. I actually chose paper before coloring, which is rare. I don't know how you guys decide on, you know, what color schemes you're going to go with. Usually everyone picks out their colors, their paper first. I tend to go backwards, just color it and then scramble for paper. Okay, so I'm going to start with my BG and 3 zeros. Maybe it helps if I put it down there. It's going to fall over eventually though. Alright, so I'm going to start with her hat here. And with my lightest color, I tend to go over the areas that are going to be the lightest. And I start creating kind of little ripples here and there. I'm not great at pleats and ripples, but bear with me. This actually, I think, needs a little bit of juicing up, so once I'm done coloring her, I will juice it up a bit. When my markers start to screech like that, I think that they're kind of telling me, you know, give me some juice. Okay. Next, I'm going to go in. Oh, I'm going to have Rio bring me my refill for that one because there's quite a bit I want to, you know, cover on her clothing. So normally I don't finish just one area. When I'm using the same color schemes, I'll you know, color all my blue areas in and keep blending away. But because he needs to be juiced up, I'm going to go ahead and finish the hat first. So again, that was BG and 3 zeros. Now I'm going to go in with my BG 01. See, and there's quite a difference on this one. I can actually feel that it's not as screechy. Thank you. Okay. Now I'm going to add some BG05. And this is, as you can see, I go into each color a little less each time. Again, just because when I go to blend it out, I want it to have that nice gradient, gradual color change. There's lots going on over here today. I'm sorry if you are hearing all the dings and bongs of the puppy. She's playing with her food bowl. Okay. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of BG7. Just right on the tips, or just right at the very bottom of that BG05. There we go. Now again, like normal, I'm going to go backwards. I just laid down BG7 as my last color. Now I'm going to blend that out with my BG05, bringing that color out a little bit more and blending it, making it a nice gradient that combines with my BG05. And I'll just blend it out. Okay, and then BG01. Okay. And then finally, again, with my BG00, I'm going to blend all that out, but I'm going to take a few moments here and fill it. So again, if you have any questions at this point, please go ahead and just type them in while I feel. Now this needed it bad. It's a brand new refill, so that tells me I've never filled this color before. No wonder it was yelling at me. You guys have any go-to color combos that you always like to go to more than anything? Mine are purples all the time. I love using that, the V's quite a bit. I'm going to start coloring steampunks as well. I've had many requests for those, so those are a little difficult. They're so detailed, but they're so beautiful once you've colored them. Okay. All right, I'll let that sit for just a few seconds here. All right. So now that I've filled it up, I'm going to go in and blend all those colors out with it. I'm going to leave some of that white untouched because I want it to look like a fold in her hat, or a ripple, fold, ripple, whatever you want to call it. It's a thing. There we go. And she's looking really pretty, I think. The reason why I sometimes go into those darker colors with the lighter ones is just to kind of wash that color out just a little tiny bit. Again, so it helps with that gradient change from, you know, that tone that we want for it to, you know, gradually change from darkest to light. All right. There we go, and there's her hat. I like it. All right, I'm going to continue on with the rest of her little outfit here. So I'm going to give, you know, start just on some of her stripes here. Try not to forget her little stripes in here. There we go. So again, that was BG and 3 zeros, the pale aqua. Next is my BG01, the aqua blue. I'm so sorry it's so quiet. Usually I have music playing when I'm coloring. I don't know about you guys, but I have to have background noise. But YouTube will cancel my channel if I play music without permission, so it has to be silent. Okay. BG05. And again, as you can see, especially on these little stripies, I am going in with each color less each time. So you want the bottom colors to show, otherwise there's no depth. Then you just have flat, which is fine too. You know, that's how you color, and how you prefer to color is totally up to you. I'm just explaining how I do things, or why I do things, just in hopes that it'll help you understand or help you kind of take off from there. So I'm excited for later tonight. Rio and I are going to bake that cheesecake that I still haven't gotten around to. And we're going to sit and watch back-to-back Harry Potter. And I'm going to sketch my little heart out. I'm going to try and sketch 10 images tonight. Oof. Alright, now I'm going to add a little bit of BG07. Again, just very, very little bit. Just to that edge. Alright. Now, normally, like I said before, I will go in and go backwards with all my colors. While I explain, I'm gonna fix my mistakes here. But with such small areas, it's not that necessary, or at least I have found that it's not that necessary. I can get away with just blending it all together with my lightest color. So I'm going to just clean up these little areas where I went outside the line. And then blend that stocking area with my BG and 3 zeros. Then I pull from the BG7 towards the BG01. And just lightly feathered. Or a light feathery motion. Flicking, feathering, whatever. There we go. I'm loving these blues. I'm glad I chose them for this one. I have something in mind for it. There we go. So all that is blended out. And I really like how it turned out. Now, I'm going to do, let's see, my 70s. So we're going to start with E70. I'm going to continue on with her little outfit here. And then we're going to do the skirt last, because I think I want her to have a white skirt. Okay, so that was again my E70. Oops. And now I'm going to go with my E71. It's kind of a pretty color. It's kind of like a soft cocoa color to me. Like real hot chocolate, or watered down hot chocolate. I'm really loving this color combo. Alright, next is my E74. I'm just going to get a little darker now. I'm still not going to wash all those colors out just yet. Okay. And finally, the E77. And I'm not sure if I'm going to need the E79, but we'll see how it turns out after I do this one. We might need that E79. We'll see. Okay, now before I decide on that E79, I'm going to go ahead and blend those colors out with my E70. The last brown was E77. Now I'm blending it all out with my E70. E70. I really like this color combo. It's like a hot cocoa brown. Very pretty. Alright, I think I'm going to add that last color just to give it a little more pop. So again, that's E79. It's going to be my last color. So for my browns, I used all of these, which is 70, 71, 74, 77, and now I'm going to add the E79. Oh yeah, I really like that. Very nice. And once I blend it out even more, it's going to look even better. So this would even be nice for a brown hair color. Sometimes that added color, you know, well, and I've said it before, you can get away with 2, 3 colors of the same color family, but sometimes that 4th or 5th one will really give it some really nice dimension. Okay. Now because I don't want it to just sit there with that harsh line, but I don't want it to wash out either. So instead of blending it out with my E70 or any of my lighter ones, I'm just going to blend it out with kind of middle color like the E74. This way the one before it isn't washed out and you still have that gradual gradient change. And I don't want that E79 to wash out. I want it to stay quite dark. Now, one more time on that E74 I just did, I'm going to blend out that line a little bit with my E70. And this just kind of helps those colors blend together. There we go. So all my browns are done. I think she turned out really pretty with that color scheme, the browns and the blues. Right now, like I said, I wanted her skirt white, so I'm going to go in again with my C's, and I will start with my C3. I'm going to attempt to create some pleats here. Doesn't always work out for me. Told you all, pleats are my nemesis. Oh, not bad. So see, even with just a little bit of white, you can create some nice pleats sometimes. Okay, next is my C1. Again, just want to wash that color out a little bit so that it is white and not gray. You want to keep the pleats. Just take that marker a little bit longer than the last line you put down. There we go. And finally with my C00, we'll wash that out even more. There we go. Alright, and that's her skirt. I actually like how it turned out. It looks nice. Okay. Now let's color in those reds. So I'm going to take my R24 and start with her straw. And let's do her lips as well. Oops. I hate going outside the line, especially with the reds. They do not move around or blend very well. They're very strong and bleed a lot. But unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that tiny bit that I went out. Ugh, and I did it again. Outside the line. It's just going to have to stay that way. That was R24, now R29. Let's try to stay in the line this time. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the R39. I don't think I gave you guys that as the color. I think I went 24, 27, and 29, but I'm changing it up a bit. I'm so sorry. I get myself confused sometimes. All right. Now we're going to blend it out with the R21. So I'm going to take from the R39 and blend it into the rest of the colors. So from R29, I'm taking R29 into R20, I'm sorry. With my R21, I am dragging the R29 into the, one more time, I'm taking the R21 and dragging the R39 into the R29 into the R24. There we go. Thank you, Carrie. Okay, again, from R39 into R29 into R24 and just blending it all out together. I'm leaving a little bit of that white untouched. And those are my R's. Looking good. I get so excited when I'm almost done with the image. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to color in her eyeshadow. I'm going to use the same colors that I did for her browns, but not all of them this time. So I'm going to go in with my E70 and start her shadow just like I would my own. Start with the base coat. I promised Angela I would do a makeup tutorial as well, but unfortunately I won't be using Copics for that. Okay, so E70. You cheater. You should be only concentrating on coloring, Carrie. All right, E71. But at least you got to sneak in here and watch a little bit. I know it's probably getting repetitive for you guys because I'm coloring the same basic things. Skin, hair, clothing. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it a little bit. Alright, next is E74. And this will be the last color I put on her eyes, or her eyeshadow. We don't want her to look like a hussy, right? Alright, now I'm going to blend it out with my E70. Again, from taking my E70, I take the darkest color and drag it into the lightest to give it that gradual gradient color change. Not bad. I forgot her little candy cane in her ears. Well, one ear. Sometimes I wonder if I should even draw little things like this. I know it kind of irritates me to have to color them. But it kind of gives it, additional detail. That was R24. I'm going to go in with my R27 like I was supposed to the first time around. And whether you'll be able to see any changes here, I don't know. It's such a small area. Okay, so that was R24, 27, and now 29. Just a little tiny dab there. Again, it's such a small area. This is terrible. When you've got your caps looking like that, it's time to clean your markers. I don't even remember using R29 in such a long time. Why it's so goopy like that, I don't know. Okay. Alright, now let's blend it all out with our R21. Let's see if I can get closer here. There we go. Alright, so take dark to light, just move it around. Dark to light. There we go. Again, small area. You don't have to worry about the white parts in it. I wouldn't. But that's totally up to you. Alright, let's see. So what color shall we make her cup? How about a light blue? Just using two colors. We're going to start with BG and 3 zeros. And all we're going to do is outline it just a bit. Now this again could be another white tone. Another way you can make something look white. I would use this for snowmen and, snowflakes or snowflake fairies. Okay, and my second color is going to be the BG01. Now I'm going to go in and blend it out with my BG000 again. Just going over those BG01 lines so that they come together. Now with my colorless blender, I'm going to blend that out just a little bit more. Taking both colors and just kind of swishing them around. So see, now you have another white, or could be considered a white cup or a white area, or a very light blue. Either way, it looks really cute. Okay. And that's her cup. We're almost done. I'm excited. I'm going to go in with my E71 and color in some of these little cocoa sprinkles. Again, a small area, so I'm not going to use too many colors on it. But at the same time, I want to give it just a little tiny bit of depth, not depth. And actually what I had planned was to go in and put some glitter on these sprinkles. I thought that might look cute once I finish the card. Okay, so that was E71, and I'm going to create a very small line with my E74. Just again to give it a little bit of depth and not make it look so flat. I'll zoom in again. There we go. There we go. Pretty neat. Alright, we are almost done. Just her hair and we are good to go. So for her hair, I'm going to give her black hair. And I'm going to start with my W3. I'm going to start the little flicks. I like flicking toward me. I feel it gives me personally better grasp of the pen, and it just kind of gives me more control. It's a little area, so we'll color that part in and continue those flicks. So here's where I'll move my my image quite a bit, just because I have to flick toward me. I am loving how she's turning out. But I say that about every image, and it's unfortunate that I don't get a chance to color every single one of my images. Not even the ones that I, you know, commission off of my own artists. But I'm hoping to change that in the new year. But then I say that every year. But really, this year really took me for a loop. I am really looking forward to it being over, starting the new one. Because you know that it's Halloween again. It's all about Halloween, huh? I cannot believe Leah wants to do all that again. I'm not sure that I can do another 100 days. That was hard. Unless I have somebody kind of help me run it and all that stuff. Maybe start planning it now. Okay. So see, even with one color you can actually create really pretty shiny hair. You know, but the more colors you use, the more depth to your hair you're going to get, and the shinier, and you know, it changes with every color. Hang on 1 second, guys. Rio, can I get the 100, please? Sorry, I forgot one of my colors.
Which one?
100. Okay, now with my W5, I'm going to create a couple more strands here to start darkening that hair. This Rio doesn't have gray hair yet. I do, and I know it's from her and her brother. Thank you. Turn it around so I can flick towards me. That's where I get myself into some trouble when I start putting strands into little areas. Now, people have asked me how I get the strands so thin. The thinner the strand, the more you want to hold your pen upright so that only the tip touches that paper and where you're laying that color down. There we go. Okay, next I'm going to use my W7. Now with my W7, my strokes get thinner and more separated and more far apart. Again, just because I want to let those other colors show through so that it creates that pretty shine or the feel of, you know, strandy hair. Not stringy, you know, strands in the hair. And it just went into her ear. I'll fix that later. I'm going to color in her eyebrow as well. Okay, so she's pretty much done, but I always like to add the 100 very sparingly over the W7. It just gives it a really pretty shine. And I really, really hold my pen upright on this one. Especially now, nowadays, because I have not changed out the nib on this one in a very long time, so it's very, very used. It's looking pretty old there. Poor thing, I'm working it. Again, I'm not going over every single strand, just kind of a couple of wispies here and there. Yes, that is a Betty term, wispies. Okay, so next time I'm going to test you. What are the black hair strands called? Well, that might be a quiz, so you better pay attention. Wispies. And that's W-I-S-P-S, okay? See how that kind of starts giving it a really nice shine. This with a little tiny bit of black. Very pretty. Pretty, pretty. And there you are. Alright, she's all done. Actually, her little bells should have some kind of color. And I think that silver would be good. So, W. C3. Small area, so Just a little bit of dabbing will do. C1 is next if I can find it. There it is. I'm washing out the C3 with the C1. And same here, just a little tiny bit. And wash all that out with the C00. Probably. Wait, but why? Just because I make up my own words? I was wondering if you had fallen asleep. You're so quiet today. What's the matter with you? Alright, and then I'm going to go over it just a little bit with my C3 again. Just a tiny bit. And just on this bell. The other ones are so small. Doesn't make a difference. Now I'm going to wash it out a little bit with my colorless blender. Just in the middle here. And there you have it. She's all done. It's pretty. Let me back up here. Alright. There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I am going to do another one tomorrow. I think tomorrow's is Sleigh Ride Elf Carry at noon again. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Go put those dishes away now, Iva. Bye, guys.